Okay, Ed, I'm going to try a response with a video. So this is going to be a response to your response to a response of a video that's been kind of going around the last few days about Colossians 2:16 and 17. And I'm going to try this with video, Ed, because you're just not getting it. You're just not understanding what people are saying, I think, or you're refusing to accept it. I don't understand you. Look, Ed, um, this may come as a big shock to you, but people who don't think like you think, they actually have really looked at this stuff and they actually have really dug into it and they actually have pretty good reasons for believing as they do. You guys always act like anybody who's not a dispensationalist has obviously never actually even read the Bible. I mean, like, we wouldn't even know. We probably have like one Bible in our house, you know, that we pull out during funerals and weddings, and you know, and we sign it with, people sign it or something, and then we think the whole thing is like a bunch of allegory. That's what you guys think about us. It's not. It's just not true, Ed. There's a ton of really high quality Christian individuals. I'm not including myself in that. Okay, guys like R.C. Sproul, for example, who don't agree with you. I mean, the astounding arrogance of people like you is just crazy. And believe me, I know people like you, Ed, because I've talked to a lot of people like you over the last 20 years. By the way, I was raised in dispensationalism, okay? And so I know what I'm talking about. That's one of the things you don't get. You seem to think everybody else is a moron about this stuff, and you're the only one who knows anything. So that's one of the things. I'm just giving you some advice. Is you need to stop thinking that way. Okay, so I know what I'm talking about with this respect to this viewpoint because I was raised in it, and you're not going to trap me with your stupidity and your circular reasoning. Okay, you're just not. So stop trying. All right. So just listen if you really care about truth, which I highly doubt you do. You care more about pushing your ideology. Okay. But if you're a Christian, you should love truth, even if it hurts you, honestly. So if you really love truth, Ed, you would stop talking and actually listen once in a while. So I'm going to try one more time with a video here.
Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink, or in respect of holy days, or of new moon, or of Sabbath day, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Christ. So it says, which is a shadow of things to come. So if it's a shadow of things to come, well, what does that mean? It's a picture. It's not saying that those...
And they're going to come. Right? They're a picture of things to come. That means they're going to happen. They're going to come. Not that they did come, but they ought to come.
All right, so let's start right here. Let's assume you're right, that this wording is meant to say what it sounds like, and admittedly, on the surface, to a casual reader of the Bible who doesn't know the context and everything else we're talking about, would say, yeah, obviously he's talking about something that hasn't happened yet. So let's go ahead with that first, and let's look at that verse, okay? So I'm going to open this up. Now, Ed, you're going to repeat yourself a number of times in the next minute on this video. So you keep on insisting that it's to come, so therefore it hasn't happened yet, right? These things haven't happened yet. Fine, but you're insisting that the things to come are these things right here, the holy days, the new moon, and the Sabbath days. Ed, it doesn't make any sense. Okay? A shadow of something are these things. These are the shadow. These are the shadows. The things to come are not shadows. Do you understand that? Do you understand that a shadow doesn't have a shadow? A shadow is a shadow. The thing to come is the real thing. So what you're claiming that this says, Ed, is that the real things are the holy days, the new moons, and the Sabbath days. Do you understand that doesn't make any sense, Ed? They're the shadows, so something else is coming. Some other thing is coming, Ed. Not these things, some other thing, but you insist that in the millennium we're going to go back to these three things, or, at least these three things. So do you understand what we're saying now? So that's the first thing. The second thing, Ed, is it doesn't say in either of these verses anything is coming back. You see the word back in here anywhere? You see return anywhere in here? These things were in the past in the Old Testament. They are a shadow of things to come. They're not coming back, Ed. They are shadows of things. Do you understand now? I don't know how else I can explain it.
Things are coming back, per se. There's no,
It says ought to come.
Yeah, but see again, no, they're not coming
That's
back.
English. They ought to come. Oh,
Oops, sorry.
these things are come. They ought to come. Your picture of things ought to come.
Trying to click too fast.
nothing in there that suggests that that stuff's coming back.
Ought to come says they ought to come.
Yeah, are to come.
Means the future.
Okay, that's not what he just said, Eddie. He said coming back. He said it doesn't say they're coming back. And it doesn't say they're coming back. It said they're shadows of things to come. What are those things? Can you tell me what those things are? What you've said in your other videos is the things are the holy days, the Sabbath, and the observances we just said were shadows.
Not what did come, not have come, ought to come.
All right, now I'm going to stop there and I'm going to prove to you with scripture that the Hebrew way of writing sometimes, when it says there are shadows of things to come, okay, actually does mean that those things already came. They're writing it from the Old Testament point of view. Let me say that again. This is written as if they're writing it from the Old Testament point of view. All right, so let's look at an example here. Hebrews 10. The law of Moses, having a shadow of good things to come, and not the very image of those things, can never with sacrifices which they offered you. Ed, is the law coming back? Is this verse saying that the law is coming back? The law. Are you going to actually claim that the law was not put away by the death of Christ? What do you think the good things to come is in this verse? But it says it in exactly the same manner. The law having a shadow of good things to come. Well, I guess those things haven't come yet, according to Ed. How about this one? Here's a really good one, because this isn't even talking about old versus new. This is just the way it's worded. It's exactly the way it's worded in our contested verse. By faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau in the Old Testament thousands of years ago concerning things to come. Wait a minute. Are Jacob and Esau still waiting around for the things to come that he promised them? Because they haven't happened yet, because they're to come, right? Obviously not, Ed. Obviously not. You're just not accepting that, things that are worded in a certain way, both in the Greek or the Hebrew, or the way the Hebrew people wrote things, and then translated them into the Greek, and then from whatever they were, I think they got translated into Greek, and then from Greek to Old English. You're getting tripped up on that. And here's the biggest point, Ed. The Old Covenant elements are never coming back. Okay? That's a key point. I know dispensationalism doesn't think that. They think that the Jews are forever going to be trapped in these elements and never going to get out of them, because God told them they would never get out of them. Ed, you're wrong. That's just a basic point of view that you're wrong about. The Jews were under those elements and under bondage and under those things. Jesus came and freed them. That's why Jesus came. That's the biggest problem I have with dispensationalism, is you guys take away what Jesus did for Israel. Oh, he hasn't done it yet. He hasn't done it yet. He didn't complete the job. He didn't finish the job. He didn't bring his kingdom yet. He didn't, obviously, according to Ed, he hasn't even gotten rid of the old covenant things. He's just still, well, yeah, he's the high priest in heaven. Yeah, the mercy seat is in heaven. Yeah, his blood washed them from their sin, blah, yeah, I guess. I mean, maybe, sort of. No, Ed, heresy, heresy, heresy. Jesus came He came to die. He came to save his people from their sins. Matthew 1:21. He didn't come to be their king the way they expected and the way you expect. He came to die, get buried, rise again, and ascend to his kingship, which is where he sits today. So you're more intent on holding on to that false doctrine, and you're so intent on it, you cannot even see that this verse right here does not say that the holy days and the moon, new moon, and Sabbath days are coming back. You can't even see that it doesn't say that. And that's what I mean by dispensationalism having its own Bible. You guys have your own Bible based on your ideology. It's not based on the seeking the truth. It's really sad. Hope you figure it out, Ed. See ya.